Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Tara Normal. My name is Tara. Today, I have a guest. You may remember her from past episodes. Melissa's with me again.
Hello, everyone.
Yay. So today, we're kind of going to step into a different territory. Mm-hmm. It's a little different than what we've talked about before and kind of what I've talked about on the podcast before. Numbers. And I've been having really weird realizations about numbers, and they've just been sticking and clicking with me for, I'm going to say, a little bit over a year, maybe a year and a half. I've become very conscious of them. And Melissa and I talk about it often because she's had some crazy stories and crazy things happen with numbers. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. So we're finally sitting down, talking about it. We have the number book in front of us. So we're going to talk about all of this. So
yes, and I've been noticing numbers and number patterns that just keep appearing. They're kind of, not just random, I just, look at the clock and it's 6:10,
Right. There
are certain times we'll look at the clock, it might be 11:11. It might be 11:23. It might be 5:55, as Tara will get into. It also speaks to you. There's something about it where it makes you pause for a second and wonder why you keep seeing something over and over again. It just keeps repeating. And I've really gotten into numerology recently. I've been noticing sequences, namely 1123, whether it be in dates or clocks or whatever, since my early 20s, and I'm now 40. So it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
And it's quite fascinating. So we're going to delve into some of that today and what we've learned.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start kind of with my journey. I don't even know what to call it, but I started noticing 11:11, and I feel like that's where a lot of people start noticing. Because I always heard that 11:11 is like, you see 11:11, make a wish.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know if you
heard
that
before.
Make
a wish.
Yeah. So that always kind of stuck out to me or whatever. And probably about a year ago, it's been over a year, but I've been trying to start transitioning my life and try to start manifesting good things into my life. Mm-hmm. And I started seeing 11:11 a lot. And it was to the point where for a solid month, I didn't miss an 11:11 p.m. no matter what. I would always look at the clock at that time. And one night, when it really kind of freaked me out, I was sitting with my friend and we were just kind of hanging out, had a couple drinks or whatever, just kind of talking, nothing too crazy. All of a sudden he gets a text message and he picks up his phone and goes, who's texting me at 11:11 tonight? And I kind of stopped and my eyes just were wide.
It catches you.
And it freaked me out. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. But that was the first time I was like, okay, there's something weird. Somebody's trying to tell me something. Because why else would these number sequences keep popping up?
And right in your face, too. It can be pretty blatant. It's just right there. And in a variety of ways. I know I would see 1123 or 11:11, mainly 1123 on a clock all the time. And I thought, it happens twice a day, so I do have that opportunity. And I do see other times of day. Yeah. It's not it's the only time.
Yeah.
But there's something about that speaks to me in the same way for you. And to have your friend vocally say,
that's what was crazy. Because I was like, maybe that's the time I'm just going, winding down at night. And I just happen to look at the clock at that time.
Or we just get excited to see it or something.
Yeah, but then for me to be completely not even thinking about what time it was, and then that to pop up, just crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's too much to just call it coincidence or an interesting happening.
Yeah, I would say so.
And in the same way with 1123, this has kind of stuck around with me, and it got me into numerology quite some time ago. Again, in my 20s, when I was in undergrad and living on my own, I would just see it everywhere. And I remember walking into Walgreens and they have end cap displays. And I didn't think much of it if I would see it on the refrigerator or whatever. It was a very appealing looking number to me. I know that sounds strange, but
well, it's not something that you would think would mean something.
Yeah,
at least
it had
that's
no meaning
what,
to me
yeah.
at the time. And I kept thinking, okay, well, November 23rd, like every time November 23rd would roll around, it's sometimes can be near Thanksgiving. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to be grateful for something. I never really thought of it as like a call or not a call, but a message from the universe, or the universe in a way communicating to me. And now that's what I feel that it is.
Yes.
Just because it's been associated with so many things. Again, kind of like Tara touched on, knowing that you're on your life's path and knowing that you're going in the right direction. It's something that I've noticed has coincided with that. So 1123 for me, I noticed I kept seeing it and I looked it up. I used to watch a show called MathNet. And interestingly enough, was an educational show on like Channel 11 in Chicago, which was like public television. And they talked about the Fibonacci sequence. And the Fibonacci sequence is each number is added to the next number, which makes the number after. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5.
Yeah.
And it's a built-in numbering system that's actually found in the cosmos, in nature. You find this pattern in the golden ratio, the way flower petals are formed, pine cones and whatnot. And I'm just learning about all of this now, really in the past 5-6 years, how significant this pattern is. And that it's found everywhere in the universe, in the spiral galaxy formation, in seashells, and it's everywhere in the human body, and in honeybees. And it's just fascinating to me. I've also had some interesting things happen life-wise, like Tara was mentioning, and it's just amazing to me how it can be incorporated. And I'll get into some of those in a minute. But.
Yeah. No, I love, like, ever since I've started thinking about these numbers that keep appearing, the more I'm like obsessed with their meanings, and like I constantly catch myself thinking, okay, what's on my mind right now? Should I be paying attention to this? Or I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. So
it is.
But yeah, you've had quite the experience with
with numbers in general. Some of the more significant ones, really one of the more significant outside of the 1123. Well, starting with that. We were told we might not be able to have kids, and we tried, and I woke up at 4 a.m. on November 23rd of 2011, and I just felt different. I felt good, but I felt weird. I took a pregnancy test, found out I was pregnant. So that was significant to find out on November 23rd that I'm pregnant. So there was that, and I just thought, okay, I didn't think much of it. It was just kind of a cool coincidence. And then after my second child, we talked about having a third. We're quite sure yet. Maybe going to wait and see. And it was interesting because in January, before I found out I was pregnant with my third, I think it was that March or April, though it had to be April or May, I kept seeing the number 3 everywhere. It was everywhere, okay?
And I remember that distinctly.
Oh my gosh. Tara would be with me. We went to Greek City Grill. I'll never forget this. And the guy handed me the number 45 or 48 or something. And I made a comment like, oh, watch, I'll get a 3. And I got 48 or 45 or something. Mm-hmm. Sounds, okay, it's not following the
whatever. Yeah.
Well, he suddenly said, there was a group of us, and the numbers were out on the counter. And he suddenly said, oh, no, wait a minute, wait, that's not your ticket number. It's this one. And he hands me 33. My mouth dropped open. I looked at Tara. I looked at my friend April. I was like, what in the world is happening right now? And 3s were everywhere. I mean, I can't even describe it. Everything occurred in 3s.
Craziest
thing. Sure enough, I found out I was pregnant. We were going to wait a year, and I found out I was pregnant with my third child. And I felt like it was the universe's way of saying 3s. You need to have a third. There is a third coming.
Yeah.
And it may not be when you plan it, but this is when it's going to happen. And it happened. And it's just amazing.
Yeah. No, that was the craziest thing, because we were talking about it for a while, and you were like, you kept saying that there were certain things that like felt weird, or you're like, somebody's trying to tell me something, and
all the time.
Yeah. And then
strong.
And then I think that day at the Greek place was like the final where I was like, oh my God, you are like,
yeah,
what is happening?
And it was a fun little like nod maybe from the universe to trick me and, you know, hand me that different number. And then I'm like, oh, well. And then when he switched it out, I was like, I can't deny this. And that's something I kind of want to get across.
Something you can't avoid or
you can't deny this.
Think that it can mean anything else than, you know, the universe talking to you or something.
Signal. And that one was a great sign. And we were shocked to find out.
Did you ever look up what 3 was?
I did. I did.
You?
And we may have to look it up again because I actually can't quite remember. I know it has to do with trilogy, the divinity.
I think it is.
Or the Trinity, I should say.
Let's see. This is like an angel number book, but the Ascended Masters are near. They've responded to your prayers and want to help you. I don't know if that really necessarily means anything, but maybe you were like wishing for a larger family, or you were
that
thinking
energy
about
out there, and it got answered. So now we're careful when we don't put that energy out there anymore.
Yeah,
because we are content with 3. But it was just meant to be, and to have 3 of the same 3 boys, and it was just meant to be. And I feel like that's what these numbers are telling us, that we're on the right path and we're being guided there. And that's just what I feel from these numbers. And also when it happens now, sometimes I'll look up to the sky or wherever the entity is that's sending this message to me and just acknowledge it. I think it's very important to acknowledge, I hear you. Yes. I see what you're doing. Please keep guiding me, because I feel like it's a force that knows something greater than what we know. Yeah,
I agree. I do the same thing when I see 55 or 555.
Mm-hmm. You were seeing that for a long time.
Which I feel like I've been seeing that for almost a year now. I saw 1111 for a while there, which I think we just looked up. Someone else and I were just looking up in the book. The book. And it's basically pay attention to your thoughts. They're manifesting your desires is kind of the gist of it. And 55 is kind of a life changes in progress. And basically all these things that you're trying to manifest are slowly becoming true, is kind of the gist of it. But I agree. Like when I'll see 55 after or something, I'll kind of look at it, pause, and be like, okay.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. I get it.
I'm getting the message. I'm receiving the message.
Now try to guide me to actually make these changes. Yes. Because
yes. Maybe send a little more than a number to help us out. But it's
crazy.
It's amazing to me, and where you'll see them too. I think I was mentioning I walked into Walgreens and there was an end cap display, and it was selling clocks, like the old-fashioned alarm clocks. Sure enough, on the box, the number displayed is 1123.
Which is such a random time.
It's very, you know, it's not like 11:30 or 11:10 or even 11:15, like quarter hours.
Yeah.
No, 11:23. And I don't know why such a, that's the number that sticks with me most, but the numbers do fluctuate. I had 8s for a while. We were out, I can't remember where we were at, in Ely or something, on a train ride.
That's right. You were talking about.
And I kept seeing 8s everywhere. There's a figure 8 dance studio in this little town, and then there was a Big 8 tires, and then we were on 8th place, you know, where the hotel was. It was like there were 8s everywhere, and I really felt it was my grandma reaching out. And sometimes we may attribute things as humans to try to make sense of it, but there's other times when you can't deny there is some other power there in play sending you something. And maybe it's not always our job to figure it out, but to go with it. And to me, if I keep seeing these repeating patterns in these numbers or pattern of numbers, to listen to that message.
Oh yeah. I've become kind of obsessed with the whole number thing, honestly, because I think for a while there it was like I was seeing 4s and stuff, and I think that was something. It was like relating to me needing help or something in that point, and to like call upon my guardian angels or something to guide me in these directions or whatever. Again, this is like an angel number book, but
yes.
So
I'm sure there's other numerology too.
I'm sure there's like other things that it could mean as well. But that's just kind of the tool I had on hand to make sense of things. But it did so happen that I felt kind of lost, and I did need some sort of guidance. And I wanted, like, someone to help me and guide me through whatever I had going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe it did relate to my current situation.
Yeah.
You know?
In hindsight, just looking back, like the 3 thing, I'm like, gosh, I just keep seeing threes. And it was just kind of a cool thing that was going on.
Yeah.
And then to find out we're about to have a child when we're not really trying for that it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this has to be the 3. There's no other explanation for why I keep saying 3s. After he was born, the 3s stopped, or at least they're not as prevalent. Now, on occasion, I'll see 333.
Right.
I'll see the number 33, and I'll kind of give a little nod to it.
Yeah.
But nowhere near as heavy as they were prior to him coming here in this world. So it just...
Yeah.
And the numbers, I think, can change throughout your life. Some can stay consistent, like the 1111, the 1123. But then there's other ones, like the number 8. I haven't seen 8s in repetition or in succession since seeing that birthday party balloon in the same week that I saw the figure or the big 8 tires, the 8th place, figure 8 skating. Or dance studio. It's hard to deny. It's very hard to deny, even in someone who is a non-believer in things like this.
Yeah.
So.
No, it truly is. It's really hard to just kind of brush it off and think nothing of it. It like almost slaps you in the face sometimes.
It does. And I've grappled with, is this from a different dimension? Is this from the other side? You know, is this from deceased friends and relatives?
Yeah.
Or is this from something even higher in the universe? Whatever power you want to call it, something in the universe itself. Is it aliens on another planet that have control of us? Is it someone in the future?
Maybe.
If we're in a simulation, that's a whole other podcast.
My God. I would love to talk about that, though.
Yeah.
Well,
so we just don't know. It's
time,
like, who knows if they're just messing with us? But either way, I think it's pretty cool, and I'm going to honor it.
I agree,
and, yeah.
It's just like such a fascinating subject. And I think the more I look into these meanings and the more I recognize these numbers that are happening, like I said, it always relates back to what I'm going through in my current life. And the thoughts I have and the feelings that I'm going through, it's kind of a way for me to be like, okay, I do have a just reasoning for these thoughts that are going on around, in my head. And maybe I do need to take control of a certain situation or something like that. So to me, it's more of a, like, the universe is agreeing with me or something.
Yes.
Or like it's
giving
making
it
me
seal
think,
of approval.
Yeah. It's like making me rethink what I'm going through and like understand the steps that I need to take, to proceed or whatever. But yeah, it's just such a crazy, crazy thing.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. And I do wish, sometimes I'll talk with other people about it and they may not have had the same experiences or maybe they haven't noticed them yet. It is a very sensitive thing. And a lot of it, like I said, I brushed off for the longest time. And now I can't deny it. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And in everything. And it just you just feel more connected, I guess is what it is.
Yeah,
I feel more connected.
I agree.
To the universe and to
whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is that's sending it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll have to get into that altered.
Oh my God. I would love to.
Yeah, we may have to do some.
We've had some interesting discussions about that.
Yes.
So, maybe these numbers are just like our future selves playing a simulation of us.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, 55.
Or these are the little, like, in like a Pac-Man game when he like eats the thing of cherries and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like we see, we see the 1, 1, 2, 3 and I gobble it up or something. Yeah. There's something about it that just draws you to it and gives you a little boost.
Yeah.
And, hopefully it's not associated ever with anything negative, but even so, it's something very kind of prophetic. In a way, and I agree. And I love it.
I agree. And I agree that there's, like you were saying before, there's certain people that you talk to about it and they're like, don't really understand or don't really comprehend what you're saying. Because even when we were telling other people that we were doing a podcast on numbers, I'm like, oh, we're going to talk about numbers. And people are like, what are you talking about?
And I'm getting all excited. I was like, yeah, let's talk about numbers. Yeah. They're like, numbers? Or like when Tara and I talk about, speaking of numbers, but this has to do more with visuals, how we look at a calendar year.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody quite understood that.
No one understands us.
We all have different ways of looking at calendar years in our heads. So yeah. Mine's a U shape. Tara's is an S.
It's like a constant S. It's like a forever. Yeah. But
it's the same kind of thing.
Snake
it's like,
that lasts until I die, I guess. I don't know.
And mine's a U, and then you jump from one side of the U, the right side of the U tip, to the left side of the U tip, and you start January again. So that's...
See, yours makes more sense.
And it curves in the spring and the fall.
I've had to I literally drew somebody my thoughts on what my calendar in my head looks like.
To me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay, so January starts here. And it's like the first part of the S. But the last part of the S is December. So you have to kind of move over. And then you go down. And I'm like, It makes no sense. But to me, it is like a perfect...
Yeah, that's how you look at it.
I can think, oh, okay, February. Yeah, I'm right here. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And mine's the same way. I'm like, hey, we're in December. We're over here. We're about to jump over to the other side of the U. So
I kind of like that. Metaphor, you're jumping to a new year.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's kind of what we're talking about here is it may sound crazy. It may sound astronomically insane to some people that this would be going on. And I don't think it's so much that as if you've not experienced this yet, it's simply because you're not tuned in just yet because the universe hasn't tuned into you.
Yeah.
And that...
Or it is happening around you, but you're just brushing it off as something coincidental else. Or whatever. Or it's just a time. Or it's just the number on your receipt that keeps popping up.
Oh, yes. That's another one that I've had.
Yeah.
777 or, whatever.
Yeah.
I usually buy more than that. But... yeah, it's just something that can pop up and be, an even number, $23, to spend somewhere. And it can be just something as simple as that just kind of sticks with you. And even if it doesn't have significance, it's just, wow, that was kind of a cool coincidence. It's just when you keep seeing it over and over again, it's really hard to deny that it's not more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was hoping that this would end at like a number that made sense to us. That's okay.
I do too, but the great thing about it is we're not in control of it, and that's what makes it so fun.
But that's another thing. I feel like when I try to latch onto that number where I'm like, okay, I'm going to catch 55,
Yes.
It never happens.
Yes.
Never happens.
I had
it always
month
catches
and a
me
half.
off guard.
I had no 1, 1, 2, 3s for the longest time. Easily a month and a half this summer. I think I may have even made a comment. I was like, I haven't really seen my numbers lately.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any repeating patterns. It was also during a time that was pretty chaotic in my life with my kids. They were out of school. It was nuts. And I can't help but believe it's just simply because I was out of tune with what was going on. And whether or not it was going on around me, the universe wasn't connecting with me. So I had to take a minute, kind of step back, kind of simplify things. And sure enough, it came right back in. Yeah. So I think there's also a rhythm with it. I think
so
we
too.
need to kind of prepare ourselves to receive that energy and that
I agree.
That guidance.
I agree.
So, which is why I think a lot of people sometimes can't. And it's no one's fault. I didn't know what the heck was going on for the longest time. And it wasn't going on before my 20s. I never saw anything like that. Mm-hmm. So once it finally did, I think it was when I was able to receive it and believe in it. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I feel like it comes to you at the time when you're ready to receive it. Like I said, I didn't start seeing the 11:11 thing constantly until I started to make life changes and started trying to manifest things into my own life.
Yeah.
That's when these numbers kind of came into play for me. And to me, it was like a signal from the universe saying, okay, this is what you need to be doing. You need to start taking control of your life and begin manifesting things that are going to make you happy and whatever it may be. You just have to start paying attention and start being conscious of your own thoughts. And that's kind of what it meant to me. And that seems like a crazy explanation for such a simple number. But
yeah, but numbers aren't so simple.
It just came to me at that same time where I was making changes. So it just connected the two and made sense to me. But
yeah, I completely agree.
I don't know. It's some crazy stuff, I tell you.
We may have to do a follow-up to this at some point and see if our numbers have changed.
We'll see if anything's changed in the future.
Yeah, see how it's affected us. And yeah, hopefully I don't start seeing the number 4 and have a 4th child. We don't want to talk about that, but anyway. Yeah, we'll have to do a follow-up on this. And this will be a nice segue into our eventual talk about not dimensions, but simulations.
It's been a big subject. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, so I'm kind of excited to...
We should maybe even have a 3rd person on. I don't know. But
yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because I know we've all talked about it here at the office.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I think that we'll probably wrap this up for now. We've talked about our numbers.
So
I may never see these numbers again. But
I was going to say, the viewers probably like, okay, they've made a little too much of this.
You're thinking a little too much into this. We need to simplify your life again.
Yeah, so we're going to stop showing up.
Yeah. Anyway, so... All right. Well, thank you, Melissa, for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on and talking to me always.
Yes, glad to do it.
So thank you, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to contact me elsewhere, I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Paranormal Podcast on all the things. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.